Hi everyone! Welcome to HavocandHijinx.com's blog. Today we're talking about corsets, tips, and tricks. You can learn a little bit about this awesome article of clothing that we've had throughout history for an amazing amount of time. Corsets are awesome. I love them. We love them. We all love them. We hope you do too. So for those of you who are cautious or have questions and want to know how to take care of them, different cuts, what they do, we are here to help. So let's get down to it. The first thing you want to know is the difference between a fashion corset and a corset. Spiral steel bone corsets and fashion corsets or corset tops. The first thing you're going to want to know is the type of boning. Fashion corsets are meant to be cute lingerie, cute tops worn with jeans, which you can still do with a steel bone corset, but it's not for the faint of heart. I would suggest like the Halloween type corsets that you see, the lingerie store corsets, the bodices that you see that are tank tops with a little bit of plastic in them. Those are fashion corsets. They'll either have fabricated boning or a thin strip of plastic to hold it into place. And otherwise, that's pretty much it. With a real corset, with a spiral steel bone corset, specifically like what we carry, you're going to find that there's a lining inside of it. There's always 2 amounts of fabric on you. And then within another seam are actual little rivets of little itsy bitsy adorable pieces of chainmail almost, it looks like, when you spread it out. If you were to open up a corset, it would look really cool. It's really pretty, actually. But you see these little strips of spiral steel. And those are meant to keep you nice and cinched and tight. Whale boning is illegal. We do not do that. No. If someone tells you they have a whale-boned corset, they're fibbing. They're full of it. Tell them to stop. So, yeah, because that's not legal anymore. We don't do that. There's a lot of fashion stuff that's illegal. We'll go over that fun little tidbits and facts one day when we do a history blog. But there are many different types of corsets in cut. My favorite personally is a Victorian Sweetheart, which is what I'm going to show you a lot of examples on today. It's basically what you see a lot of corsets or corset tops are based on. It's a classic hourglass shape. And what it does is it curves your body inward in a nice little hourglass shape. And then you have the nice Sweetheart seam at the top. So that's the classic kind of corset you're going to run across. Then there's underbust, overbust, there's waspies, there's bodices. Bodices you're going to find are more like vests. You're going to find there's straps or halters. And bodices come up a little bit higher around the waist. Victorians I find that I prefer because they're nice and long. They go a little bit below my hips so that way I'm sat up straight the whole time. I love how it affects my posture. I find that it fits my body type better. I also enjoy wearing a underbust waist cincher, which is literally the corset you see that was in my hands, but half. It stops underneath my breast line, and then it stops just above my hips. And all it does is just cinch in everything else, and then everything else is free and flowy and out there and fun. So there's that one as well. Then there's also the Antoinette corset, which is a classic Versailles cut, as you find. It's a lot more princessy. It comes down low but high in the hip. It's much similar to a Tudor corset. A Tudor corset is much similar. You'll find that the shape of the corset comes up and then down. It makes more of a V. If you want an hourglass shape, go with a Victorian. If you want straight up narrow at the hips and then a V upward, go with an Antoinette or a Tudor cut corset. You'll also find with Tudor corsets, there's these little flaps at the bottom. I find them extremely uncomfortable. I used to work at a Renaissance festival. So annoying. When you're trying to sit down, terrible. But that's why I like Victorian. It's classic, easy to wear, goes with a lot of things, such as a underbust cincher. They go a lot with a wardrobe. That more 1950s cinched waist too is a lot closer to the Victorian hourglass that you're looking for. So if you're into pinup, rockabilly, gothic wear, you're going to definitely want to go with either a cincher like a waspy, like our Maddie corset we carry, or just a regular classic Victorian Sweetheart cut. With Tudors and Antoinette, sometimes you'll find that it just juts across and it puts your boobs in a square, like a little square shape. I find with the Victorian, I have more room to breathe and actually have like very nice cupped cleavage. And it makes my shoulders feel a lot more slender. So it's up to you what you like. And I like the Victorian. So that's what we're going to teach you today, is how to use Victorian. So, how to lace your corset. First off, let's talk about lacing and cording. You're going to find a lot of corsets, like this bad boy, have cording. A proper corset should always have cording. It's like shoelace or parachute cording. It comes very long, very nice. It's nice and big. You can whip it around, have fun with it. So I prefer this over ribbon. You're going to find a lot of lingerie stores, a lot of companies will sell it with ribbon. A few of our fashion cuts come with ribbon just because that's what they come with. What I would suggest is always stockpile on extra cording, because sometimes I will lose cording, sometimes I will put it on a different corset for a different color, and then I misplace it. Always buy extra cording. I like to get it, I actually can get mine at the local dollar store where they sell shoelaces. They sell it by the yard or at your craft store. So cording is great. It's much better than fabric, because your fabric, well, everything's fabric, but your cording is going to be much better for your corset and last longer lifetime. You're going to find that ribbon, as opposed to cording, absorbs moisture and then expels it, and it gets all greasy and nasty. So when you sweat, you're putting that back on your grommets. Your grommets can rust. I find if you want to add a few more years onto your corset, sometimes even lots of years, I do cording. Buy a corset with cording like our steel bones. It's going to make your corset last longer. It takes better care of your grommets, and then also takes better care of your busking. Busking is the piece in the front and the back. I mean, obviously these parts are your actual boning, but you also have busking. There's nice thick pieces, one with the grommets, one with your hook and eye clasp. Not all corsets will have a hook and eye clasp. You'll notice a lot of the steampunk styles and more modern contemporary industrial style ones are with zippers now, which is pretty cool, pretty fun, easy to get in and out of. I prefer a hook and eye because I like the classic look. So you're going to want to choose whether you want ribbon or cording. My vote, always go with cording. Most of our corsets come from the factory with cording. You can always buy extra at your local craft store. Takes care of it, makes it last a lot longer. How to properly store your corset. I get a lot of people asking me, how do I take care of it? Do I just hang it up? You'll find a lot of stores, including us, the first, for a couple hours sometimes we'll hang a corset with clasp like this on the hanger. That's so that it's pretty and you can see it and you think it's, ooh, it's pretty. That is for retailers to market it to you so you can see what it looks like. Never, ever, 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 ever do this at home. Don't. Stop. Don't do this. So what I want you to do instead is you have two options. Hang it by the cording. What you're going to do is you're going to loosen your cording so that you can have your corset nice and open. You're going to open your corset like this. You're going to hang it on your coat hanger. You have the nice coat hangers, right? Or on a pants hanger. Slide it through, and you're going to hang it by its cording. This is going to keep it in a nice, well-hung shape. It's not going to mess up how it fits. It's not going to mess up how the fabric lays, and it won't get too stiff. Another way you can do it, if you're brave, and you don't have caps like I do, because cats like to sleep in drawers, is you can roll that bad boy. There's two ways you can roll it. Roll it like this, and then tie the cording to keep it closed. Like if I have it in a suitcase and I can't hang it up, I do it like that. Or grab it by the back busking where your grommets are, and then roll it like that, and then place it into your dresser. Some people, they lay their corset, if they have dressers big enough, they just lay it like that and just let it stay. I don't do that. I like to either hang mine up by the cording so that it's hung nice and long, or I roll it for my storage. I find that my corsets get a lot more wear, a lot more lasting life out of it. Corsets are expensive. I spend a lot of money on clothes. Don't want to ruin them. I spend a lot of money on corsets. If you guys saw my wardrobe, it's a lot. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. So you don't want to ruin it and waste your money and throw away corsets. Like throwing corsets away. Why would you want to do that? Just stop. Don't do that. So yeah, then we have that. And now I'm going to teach you how to put on a corset. First thing you're going to want to do is open your corset. Now when you open your corset, what you're doing is you're opening the back cording. You're noticing that your corsets are always going to meet, your laces are always going to meet in the center. So you're going to want to open, untie your center, and then loosen those laces so that you're opening it nice. You don't have to worry about the privacy panel on the back just yet. So you're going to do that, right? And then, once you have it nice and open, you're going to put it on. Now this is if you're helping someone put it on. I'll teach you how to lace up, and I'm just going to do a simple example here, and then I'll show you how to put it on yourself. This is my personal corset. I'm excited. We have this one in red and black, and I kind of want that one too. So you're going to see how you have it closed in the front, and at the back you've got all this looseness. So you're going to grab these two here, and you're going to pull that nice and tight. I do that just to hold place for now. Now, what you're going to do if you're helping someone is you're going to take two fingers. You're going to hold these laces, take your two fingers, pull the bottom, and you're going to pull it so that each little X is nice and closed. So if you're helping your honey bun get dressed, you want every little piece to get as tight as you possibly can. The whole point of a corset is to get as tight as you possibly can. Otherwise, what's the point of having a corset? So, and then you just keep pulling each little X, each little kiss marks a spot point until you get to your center. Now, in my opinion, there's no point in having a corset that closes all the way. It also means that you have space that you can't grow. So I always pay strict attention to my measurements when it comes to my corsets and what corset to wear. If I can close mine all the way like this, I'm not really happy. Because then you're not getting the tightest cinch possible, and then you don't have room to actually go down a size in it if you want. Because I like to actually tight lace properly and push myself a little bit further and further each time. I find that it's immensely fun. And then never take your corset off by just opening the front right away if you've been wearing it for more than a couple hours. I always loosen my laces first, wiggle around, get comfy, and then open it. Otherwise, embarrassing things happen. I have ridiculous stories. Ask me about them in the comments section. I will tell you the most ridiculous things that I have done besides burping in people's faces. Because you're getting all that buildup. Okay, so like I'm showing you, you're going to open it so that your corset's nice and gappy and loose, right? And you're going to take it. It is possible to put your corset on all by yourself without any help, and I'm going to show you. So you're going to want to put your clasp together. There's always going to be that one little guy that doesn't want to do it right away, but then once you're good, you're good. So I have all my clasp nice and put together, correct? Then you're going to check the back. Thank goodness for a silver privacy panel so you can see better. You're going to put your feet apart slowly so you can feel yourself. And then in your bedroom mirror, or bathroom in my case, because it's a bigger and better and nicer mirror, you're going to pull nice and tight. And then you're going to hold like you're holding a belt. Take your two fingers like I showed you earlier, and you're going to go from the bottom, and you're going to pull it nice and tight. And you pull those center pieces. Remember to always give yourself a little breathing room if you're not really used to this. See how already we're getting nice and flat? So the top part's the hardest for me because I have to reach all the way up here because I'm tall. But you're going to take your thumb or 2 fingers if you can fit 2 fingers there, and you're going to pull them nice and tight. See if you can see that. Pull everything center. Your corset's always going to want to have your 2 ties, like how this has, in the center, because you want a tighter cinch around your waist. Really good. Yeah, there we go. Whew. So there we go. Ta-da! So there you go. Wearing a corset from Havoc Hijinx. Nice spiral steel. My waist and my ribs feel nice and pushed, nice and comfy. Super ready to go to Starbucks. Get some coffee. Go some barista. Super ready to go downtown. Walk around. Wear my cute corset. And another thing I really like about this too is comfy. Looks like it's part of the shirt. Sometimes you can wear it with a dress. Do whatever you want. It's your corset. You can wear it however you want. Just be happy in what you're wearing. And that is our corsets, tips, and tricks for the day. Thanks so much.